coverage at OR Tambo International Airport. That's because SAA has cancelled flights both locally and internationally tomorrow and Saturday, reaching an impasse, of course, with unions. They, of course, demanding more money and an end to retrenchments. We can continue the conversation with Satawu's Zanele Sabela, who joins us now live at OR Tambo. Thank you so much for your time. You, of course, are unhappy with how this retrenchment process unfolded.
We are very unhappy because we had it first in the media, which is not how it's supposed to happen. According to the Labour Relations Act, SAA is supposed to let all the unions that organize here know, as well as employees who are not represented by unions.
Yeah, so what's your next move then?
Okay, so our next move is we are approaching the Labour Court and as well as looking at other options, maybe the CCMA, to make sure that we can pause these retrenchments so that we can have a chance to consult.
SAA saying that it did call for a meeting with unions. Were you happy with the way in which that was done?
When? Which meeting are they talking about? So the thing about it is there are two processes happening here. There are these retrenchments, but then there were ongoing wage negotiations. So on Friday, we were sitting, all of us, all the unions, at a labor forum, which is what they call it here at SAA, where they said to us that, because they know that the wage negotiations are going well, they put a 0% on the table, and then they said, if we do go on strike for the wages, it means that then the company might have to close down.
Yeah.
That was Friday, that's all we had. And then on Monday evening, that's when we heard from the media that they're thinking of retrenchments, which quite frankly, seriously, it can't be that between Friday and Monday evening, that's when SAA came about with this restructure plan, and now they want to retrench close to 1,000 people.
Yeah. So SAA says it's basically run out of money, it's technically insolvent, this has to happen. Apart from the process that you say was not followed properly with the retrenchment process, do you think the company is doing this because it's trying to actually stay up in the air? This is the last resort.
By going to retrenchments immediately, they're targeting low-hanging fruit. There's a lot that needs to happen here at SAA. So I don't know, you must know by now that there are unions here, lots of unions, but because SAA is so big, there's not one that has a majority, outright majority. So where we have a majority in coalition with AWUSA and Solidarity, that's SAA Technical, we were going through that wage negotiation and then we were supposed to show up on Saturday at the CCMA to continue because we had declared a dispute, and now they pulled the stunt on the Monday. On Tuesday morning, then they have a revised offer that says 5.9% on the table, but it's not guaranteed. It is conditional. The board said to them it's conditional on management being able to do operational cost cuts. So that is not really an offer.
Yeah.
So we rejected it. The commissioner gave us a strike certificate, but said we must engage until the 22nd of November.
Yeah.
That's when we can actually use the strike certificate.
Now, very quickly, some are arguing that workers are actually paying the price for corruption at the top at SAA in the past couple of years. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Totally. And it's not to say it's finished, it's done. So we have situations where 2 months ago at Satawu, we wrote a letter to SAA Technical saying, for instance, the way Human Resources acts there is they will suspend a worker for 6 months and pay them. And when we take these cases to the CCMA, we win them, they don't settle or they don't reinstate the worker. They actually go to a legal firm and pay exorbitant amounts. The legal firm still loses the case. Now they have to pay the worker and the legal. So those are the things that we need to neaten up, tighten up, and sit around the table and speak about this restructure plan, which we haven't seen, by the way.
There are talks currently underway. Do you know what's happening there?
No. So I have no idea what's happening there. So those would be the coalition that is with SAA Corporate, and that is NUMSA and SACA, and they are in those negotiations because they have a separate salary negotiations happening there.
All right, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. That is Zanele Sabela from Satawu.